All right, we're back. I'm not positive that all my settings are correct. It's weird. Twitch is not showing me streaming, even though I am streaming. So we'll see. Hopefully it's working. But if you are here and you can see, we have made some big gains since last time. Let's check it out. We have the Deepwater Harpoon. I was able to get that just as we predicted. The Harpoon was pretty easy to get. So I went on the island. On P99, the skeletons are KOS, which is kind of what you would expect, but on TLP, for whatever reason, they're not. I gave her the potion, which was required, but after giving her the potion, I just hail locked her. She didn't go anywhere, and I kind of had to dance around a little bit because the skeletons will path and aggro you there. So I mostly avoided the skeletons. At one point, I did aggro a skeleton, and got a little sketchy. I just had to kind of deal with it and keep her hailed and hope I survived. Luckily, the skeletons there are like green and dark blue to me, so they're just at the edge of kind of like trivial. So I was able to finish the hail. She despawned at 7 minutes exactly. Then I killed the skeleton, picked up the Deepwater Harpoon. It's not necessarily ideal for us to use yet because we're not level 20, but still a great weapon to have on deck. Ideal for us to use yet. Have on deck. Ideal. What's going on, Dino? I'm having some issues with Twitch today. I don't know what's up. Some technical difficulties. I think it might be on Twitch's end. So after that, we went to Crushbone. I got my brass earrings ×4, which allowed me to get two silver amber rings. We're pretty close to the same setup that my Paladin had last time on Eridium when I came here. The only difference is I had a full set of banded instead of like tattered garbage. But yeah, I got 2 silver amber rings from trading in brass earrings. And I got another 2 brass earrings just to have 2 AC ears. So that's pretty nice. This is a quest in Crushbone. You give a brass earring to a high elf male slave, and he gives you a note to deliver to a guard in Felwith. When you deliver the note, you get the ring. Did that twice. What other big gains did we get? Obviously, we got a shiny brass shield while we were in Crushbone. I was super lucky, I think. Dropped it on my first try. Normally on TLP, you have to camp it a few hours to get a shiny brass shield for whatever reason. And then I had almost 80 plat saved up, so I bought small iron legs and small iron arms just off of a like general armor vendor in Paladin. That was nice. And finally, turned in 1 set of ogre heads, and the armor I got was the good old Bloodforge helm. 5 AC, 5 strength, 5 to all resist. So that's pretty perfect. It's like the ideal item that you would want to get. And because I got that, I didn't spend too much more time camping them. I'm going to keep checking them as I run back and forth between here and Paladin. If I find them up, I'll get one, but I'm not super worried about it. Yeah, I finished up Black Burrow, Dino. I got all the things I need from there. Uh-oh, train. Maybe. Death Beetles are scowling here. I feel like Death Beetles are not KOS on TLP servers. Watch for this train. I actually need to change my spells. I rearranged my spell bar. I put Spook the Dead on the bar just in case I needed to get out of here in a pinch. I needed to fear something and just bolt. But there's not a lot of people here, or at least the courtyard is like pretty dense, so Spook the Dead's probably not ideal. And I do still need Yelp. I'm not sure anything here casts like any notable poisons either. For turning in Trumpy's head, I got the Bloodforge Hammer, plus 10 magic resist. Otherwise, a very terrible weapon. 1350, it's cool, it's magic. But yeah, I'm not really expecting to ever use it. But overall, our gear is in a pretty nice place. Alright, I don't know what's up with this train that they called. Hey Jesse, things are alright. Just, this is my first time exploring through Unrest on P99, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I don't want to fucking deal with the 4 mobs I just pulled. The Death Beetles should be green. We are pretty close to level 17 here. We'll definitely get it during the stream. For some reason, all the Death Beetles assist, regardless of like where they are on the con list. I do not like it. It's gonna be really, really annoying. I gotta run. Death Beetle was hitting hard, 21 damage. That Ward Undead chews through my mana as well. Oh, this guy's an enchanter. Illusion to be a troll. Right now my mana recovery seems really good, so it's not too big of a deal. I already showed it, but I'll show it again, Jesse. I'll run through it really quick while we met up. So new gear. Brass earring ×2 from the Orc Taskmaster. Silver amber ring ×2. These are from the quest line involving the brass earring, so technically I camped 4 brass ears. A lot easier to do on P99 than it was on TLP. On TLP, he seemed to have pH, I remember, and even then, the brass earring was kind of rare. On P99, he never had a pH. He spawned every single time, like every 10 minutes. And the brass earring dropped 4 out of 8 kills, I want to say. So really easy to get. We got the Shiny Brass Shield on our first kill. On TLP, it took us a good handful of kills of the Orc Trainer to get this, so that was easy. And we have a few other notable items. My first turn-in of the Ogre Heads was a Bloodforge Helm, which was pretty sweet. I don't think that this is any rarer than any other piece of Bloodforge. But, you know, you have like a 1 in 6 chance of getting it, so good roll on that. And then last, and certainly not least, the good old Deepwater Harpoon, which we'll be using from 20 and beyond. And that was about as easy as we expected. Just had to give the potion to Sentry Zirin and then do the Hail Lock. So definitely some big improvements. So I would like to grind in here a little bit. We'll see though. Unrest is a little well, it's, you know, it's very dense with mobs in the courtyard, and there's not like any other group that seems to be doing them. So that can be a bit of a nuisance. I think when I did this on TLP, both the Death Beetles don't, they're dubious and they don't add if they're green, so that was nice. And also, there were other groups out here, so it kind of reduced the number of mobs I had to deal with a little bit. Yeah, these are all green. How have you been, Jesse? Yeah, I'm interested to see how jack-o'-lanterns are here. On TLP, jack-o'-lanterns are kind of a pushover. Hey, Ixar, how's it going, dude? Yeah, I know what you mean, Jizzy. Sucks being an adult, being busy and stuff. Seems like a good enough spot. Doing all right, doing all right. Excited to knock in a quick 2 hours on the stream. Level up my Paladin, no doubt. I need to get an insta-click item so that I can reset my global cooldown on spells. Yeah, that's where I like to pull to, Senator Bobby, but the problem is all those Death Beetles add, and I get like 4 or 5 mobs. Even though they're green, and I think they're so green that I might not even get EXP because they don't aggro me. But they will assist. I need to move. That stun probably got me an ad. Yep. Normally you don't social mobs that are like if you don't give EXP, you don't social. You know what I mean? Let's see. Okay, I guess this one will give EXP because I'm getting skill ups. So at least there's that. Yeah, it's rough out here. I think it's like always this dark in Unrest too. I cannot see very far. I need to work on my 2-hand slash skill ups. Are you a P99 player, Senator? Charm, this is the good old Deepwater Harpoon. Old Faithful. Can I bag this? I actually just want to toss this in here so I don't accidentally grab it. What do you play, Bobby? Nice. I guess I would guess you're on green. What guild are you in? Oh, okay. Is that still led by Kenny? Qenni? Gotcha. So they played on Agnar with my guild. There's kind of been like a weird relationship between them and the people from FOH forums for many, many years now, going back to like when they formed on P99 Blue. Perfect. So what made you join them? Are you like old school FOH? What's going on, Chase? Good to see you. Rip, there's the last of our mana. I might not even have enough mana to cast a Yelp now. Let's see. Oh, I do. Good. Nothing wrong with that. Dino, I think I could start working Ghoulbane stuff either at like 20 or 25 on the latter end. I don't think so, Jezzy. XP doesn't seem amazing. Wolfden, thank you so much for the follow. The EXP in Blackburrow was really good because of the supplement you get from Null Teeth. Like, I feel like you could probably run Blackburrow like right to 20 here pretty effectively. You might reach a point where its best EXP is literally just like killing green Nulls in 1 or 2 rounds and looting Teeth. I'm on Blue, Wolfton. I wanted to experience less competition for camps. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool lore for different Paladin weapons, Dino. The Deepwater Harpoon. So this particular weapon is given to Paladins who worship Praxis. Usually only erudites get them. They're given out by the Deepwater Knights in Otis. We get it from Sentry Zirin, who is a worshiper of Nathaniel Marr from Freeport. Why do we get it from her? Because she was shipwrecked in the Ocean of Tears, and she found it off of on the body of a dead paladin, I think, who was either on the ship with her or she just found it, in the water with him. And for saving her, she gives it to you. And according to the lore, the Deepwater Harpoon you get from this is the only Deepwater Harpoon held in the hands of a non-Deepwater Knight. Unless, of course, you are an Erudite Paladin when you get it. No, she is shipwrecked in Ocean of Tears. So, however that happened, maybe there was a Deepwater Knight who just happened to be traveling around. I've got a 50 Necromancer on green and a like 15 or 20 Shadow Knight. I'm thinking like 2 more kills and I'll level up. At least you didn't give me any buffs that like overwrote my buff. No, most of those are official Everquest servers, Dane. Yeah, P99 is the only private server I have listed there, though I've played on other private servers. I've played on like dozens of emulated servers, but usually you don't really stick with them too long. P99 is the only one where I've invested any significant sum of time. Are you an Everquest player, Dane? Nice. I too have an Everquest beta disc. What phase of beta disc do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Do these fizzles. Come on. I had to get the ad. I've got LOH up. I should be good. I think they might all be silver colored. Mine, I have a phase 4 and it's silver. If you have a phase 1 through 3 though, and you're interested, you should PM me. I will buy it from you. To most people, they're probably not. I mean, you could probably get at least $100 on eBay for it regardless. But I collect EQ things because I'm a big nerd. All right, there we go, level 17. Dino, it would depend on which beta you were in. Beta 4 was like stress test. The game was pretty much there. Really early betas didn't even have like the same models that you see now. You can look at pictures online of like phase 1 beta where the models were crazy different. Thanks, Jezzy. Yeah, the models look like someone just like... It's like if you told them what Lord of the Rings was, and they had to just like they had to create every race with Play-Doh. That's what like the original EverQuest models look like. Behind me on this this shelf here, you might be able to make it out. Against the comics in the center, I have a red disc and a silver disc. The red disc is the EverQuest Online Adventures beta, and the silver disc is the EverQuest 1 beta. Nice. That's awesome. Have you ever thought about coming back and re-experiencing EQ, Dane? So the official, you know, it's owned by Dark Paw Studios now, a subsidiary, I think, of Daybreak Games. But before that, it was Sony Online Entertainment. Before that, it was Variant. And before that, of course, as you know, 99 Studios. Regardless, the official company right now, once a year, roughly, they release what they call a progression server. So it's a server that starts in Classic EverQuest, roughly as EverQuest really was in Classic. And then every X number of months, they progress to the next expansion, eventually reaching live. So like the current one that's out is called Air Dune, done kind of in a remembrance of Brad McQuaid. And they did 3 months of Classic, 3 months of Kunark. Now they're about to start Velius. They'll do 3 months of that. And they'll do that more or less all the way to live. There's some expansions that are a little bit shorter later on in the pipeline. What's going on, Glutes? It's going really well. We've got some major upgrades since last session, and now we're killing some undead and unrest. We just dinged level 17 right before you got here. Right? It's crazy to look at EverQuest models and be like, wow, those are terrible, given like what we already play with is not incredible. Yeah, Dane, Kunark is winding down now. They're about to enter Velius, I want to say in November. But if you want to catch a fresh one, and they are really at their best in like that first 2 months, when there's like tons and tons of people rushing all over the place and everyone starts at kind of zero, I would recommend maybe like dabbling in this one just to get a feel for it. And then when they release the new TLP, which is probably going to be sometime between March and May of 2021, jumping in there. And it's, you know, it's not like a place where you probably want to spend the next 10 years playing a video game, but it's a really great way to revisit EverQuest kind of casually. And depending on how competitive you are, you can, you know, try to be like a hardcore raider and level up really fast, or you can just kind of go with the flow. Or you can do kind of like challenge runs like this. What we're doing right here is a challenge run. I'm doing a solo self-found Paladin. This is my second attempt. Yeah, I know what you mean, Nils. To be fair, I think he's supposed to look, because he's, quote, the faceless, you know what I mean? He's supposed to be ambiguous so that you can project whatever your particular fear is onto him. I'm being so bad. Forgot to put courage on, or armor, whatever it's called. Whichever buff I'm missing. I can see I'm missing one buff. Thanks, Dane. Hey, hit me up about that beta disc. Yeah, thanks. Bronze armor is the dream. Come on, Death Beetle, you were not that close. All out of mana, no more nukes for this. We still have enough to get maybe, yeah, probably this is my last Yelp. Getting those one-hand blunt skill ups quick. I need to find some place where it's like easy and non-threatening that I can work on my two-hand slash. Two-hand slash is 36 right now. Ooh, no, do not add. Charm, tentatively yes. I just don't know if I'm actually going to use them though. I haven't officially said no, so they're on the table in that sense. But I don't know if I really want to use them. For one thing, like Valia's stuff is probably just going to be too hard. The mobs have too much health and hit too hard on average. Man, I'm encumbered already. I need to bank my two-handed hammer. It's like an extra 10 pounds for no reason. Ooh, I don't want to fuck with that. He's indifferent. Okay, he's a charm pet. So I was looking at the server TACP, the Al-Kabor project. Some of you guys have probably heard of it, but they go all the way up to Pop. Right now they're only in Luckland because they haven't finished the dev work for Planes of Power. But what's really cool about that server is they use I forget what the client is. They use a much older client. So P99, despite being very classic because of the immense amount of work the developers have done over the years, especially Nilbog, P99 uses the Titanium client. Titanium came out actually like with Depths of Dark Hollow, so it's fairly late in the EverQuest lifecycle, and because of that, it's got a lot of like non-classic things that are really hard to get around. I mean, just for instance, like the way I can move my mouse like this in Classic, you couldn't do that. That's why everyone played in first person, because you couldn't just scroll out like that. Like the best you could do was like this, you know? So the Al-Kabor project uses whatever client it was that like the Mac server used, and man, when you log in there, it feels very, very legit. They even have a fully functional Stone UI. Now, because Stone UI is like so old, you can only use it in like the small, like the really shitty resolution. But it's moving around and looking at things looks exactly like what you remember EQ to be. We kind of settle for this and accept this as pretty much what EQ was. But when you log into the Al-Kabor server, it's crazy. You're just like, wow, this is actually exactly what I remember when I was 9 years old. While I'm meditating, I'll go ahead and like pull it up, show you guys. Look at that. I mean, even this brings back like nostalgia to me. You guys remember filling this thing out? It's probably gonna be like deafening loading music. Prepare. I warned you guys. Look at this. Let's create a character. Go somewhere that you guys will all recognize. Let's go a human. Let's go. What do you guys want? Kanos or Frank? this. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, the audio is like set really loud by default. Okay, I see Kanos, so we're gonna go Kanos. We'll go human monk Kanos. Remember that Everquest used to give you a difficulty rating? You'd be like, oh yeah, this face class combination is moderate difficulty. Dude, I forgot all about this beforehand. Welcome to Kanos. Kanos is a busy human port city that is dedicated to the principles of law and ruled over by the strong, benevolent hand of Antonius Bale. The silent fist man, under the wisdom of Master Bassoon, believes in no other power than that of the mind and body. Through trials of combat and trials of poverty, you seek to discover something. Not out of the vast reaches of North to travel in yourself. Can you guys still hear? You guys can still hear the music. That's my bad. Sorry about that. I thought I had muted the music for that. Oh god, we're gonna get that deafening Everquest music. Let me pull up these options really quick and just turn that shit off. General, music level. There you guys go. We're free. Zygorian, I would do Nixar SSF. I just want it to be a Paladin. If they could be Paladins, that's the race I would pick for sure. Look at this. Look at the sky. Look at that nice classic sky. Oh, this monk is not going to be... We're not really going to stream this character. I was just showing off the Alcabor project. Dude, it's so legit. And look, like, you can't scroll out. This is it. This is your screen. Anyway, we've seen enough. If chat really wants, we could maybe one day do a stream with that client. For now, we're stuck with this one. See, after looking at that, this doesn't feel classic at all, right? You're like, oh, what is this TLP shit? Yeah, my bad again about the music. I didn't realize. You guys were getting blasted with that. Ooh, look at this. All the jack-o'-lanterns are up. We'll go around. Don't want to aggro one on accident, but I would like to try to single one out. Oh, that's really bad. Why is there a barbed bone skeleton here? Someone's trumpet. Dude, dwarves can barely swim out of that pond. So jack-o'-lanterns have fear, but I think it's a stun, right? We're gonna find out, I guess. So long as I can get one without all these beetles. Ellie, that's a good question. I'm not sure how the charm and Membler mechanics work on P99. It seems like there's a good chance I would. It seems really dangerous now that you mention it, like maybe I should go zone out, but we're too dumb for that. Alright, we can... What am I getting stuck on? There's like a space in the wall where it let me dip in a little bit. I would get stuck. Okay. Might get him solo? No, we would have got a pile of shit. There might be a jack-o'-lantern in here. It's not impossible. Nope. There we go. Oh, jeez, I got like half the yard over here. Yeah, so Unrest is weird. There's actually a whole wall behind this wall. With like another, 5 to 10 foot of space. You just can't really access it, or you're not supposed to be able to access it as a player. Gotcha. I'll show you if we ever kill this shit. I'm just gonna zone these. Check it out. You'll be able to see it when I sit. You see that? That's the real zone wall. But yeah, if I had known about the Alcabor project before I started this, I probably would have done the stream on that. But now I'm like, 17 levels into this Paladin, and I want to start fresh. If he dies, we'll move over. I mean, like, I knew about the Alcabor project, but I didn't really know how classic it felt, how good it looked. I've been thinking about, instead of doing like strictly hardcore runs, we'll attempt to do deathless runs, but we'll have like a death counter, you know what I mean? And if we make it, beyond level 10 without dying, we'll just keep that character and If we die, throw the death on there. And then in the ideal world, you get all the way to 50 with no deaths. Oh yeah, Jesse. Michael's Shenanigans is like definitely the best Everquest YouTube channel. It's so good. It's really funny, it's entertaining all at the same time. I do need to go sell, but this zone is so dangerous. Yeah, it's my only complaint. His content comes out very infrequently. It's like a couple months between each one. And sometimes you get like really great videos where there's like tons of lore and interesting content, and sometimes you get like, I'm gonna play some music on my guitar. And I'm not complaining, but more is always better. Oh, he did. I guess he couldn't make contact. Yeah, he's an enigma. I don't really know anyone who knows him. I really wish I had safe fall. The fall damage here is so brutal. But like, getting killed by a title lord is more brutal, so. I don't even know if he's still actively playing EQ, you know what I mean? I notice in all the videos I see him do, he's always like the same level. And it's never level 60, even though they've been in Kunark Plus for like 6 years or longer. Jeez, they might be in like Kunark Plus for 8 years now. Depends on the server, Dilo. I think a Bard would be easier on P99 because some of the nerfs to Bards that have happened on TLP servers and live are not here, you know what I mean? I think Bards can still swarm kite on P99. Oh man. You're crazy for watching the whole thing, Ellie. So you're gonna go mage for your next fresh character on a server? Are you gonna do a hardcore group, or are you just gonna run solo and kind of group with whoever you find? But yeah, if we're doing P99, I think Bards are super well equipped to SSF, and maybe even SSF hardcore. It's mechanically probably challenging to play, you know what I mean? But your player character power is certainly high enough to navigate Norath and take care of everything pretty easily. On TLP, you could do it. It's going to be agonizingly slow because you can't swarm or anything like that. TLP takes all the fun out of it. Dude, I'm telling you, the fall damage is real. So, I think I would, yeah. It's like a tough call though, because it's a lot easier to do the Bard on TLP server because of Melody. You don't have to like, you know, destroy your hands. Dude, look at this area. It's the freaking dead zone. So many mobs just roll up on that tent. It's deceptive. You go over there and you think, oh, there's these NPCs that kill all these goblins. I'll be safe there. You will not be safe. If you If these aren't trivial to you, you will die if you go over there. I don't know why not. Probably because some dev thought his graphics looked better than the old graphics. And they're too proud to switch back, or too out of touch to switch back. What's going on, Dodu? I think I'm gonna do a group like that, Ellie, when the next server comes out. I'm gonna go hard on launch, just rush to 50 as fast as I can, and delete the character again. If we're first, we're first. If we're not, oh well. But it would be cool. I don't think I've seen anyone actually stream the 1 through 50 race on a server before. Well, I've seen people stream it. I've never seen the winner stream it. Yeah, Dilo on the next TLP. Cash, if you're soloing, I'm not positive. If you're in a group, it's a combination of mage, enchanter, and necromancer. No, I'll do so I'm a little bit torn right now, to be honest with you guys. Part of me says that like when a new server comes out, a new TLP server comes out, we should just, right from the get-go, hardcore, solo self-found, 1 through 50, and just push. You know, like I'll take like 4 days off of work, I'll go super hardcore, and we'll see what we could do with like 96 hours, no sleep, pure grind. The other part of me says the same thing, except static group, race to be the first level 50 on the server. I don't know what would be more cool. Because usually people who are like streaming their level 1 through 50 rush are not the people who actually win the race to 50. Right? Yeah, I wake up 8 times a night as it is anyway, so what's the difference? Now, it would be dope if we ran into Zartumi and Corflunk on the way to Paladin. See, like the hardcore Paladin, like just no lifing it run for a couple days is cool, and if you fail, it's not a big deal. Like, you know the odds of failure on a hardcore solo Everquest run are super high. But if you commit to like racing to 50 on stream and you lose the race, you just have to like sit there. You have to sit there and like soak in that loss. Silent, I went blue over green just so that I could have less competition for camps. I've got like pretty limited playtime, and I didn't want to walk into like what is maybe my only viable camp in a level range, or one of the items I really need to progress, and then be like, oh, I can't do it because it's camped. So this being on blue offers a lot of options where I just don't have to deal with that, like Shiny Breast Shield, all this stuff I basically didn't have to get in a line for, and I expect that to continue pretty much the rest of the run. Like, I don't think I'm gonna have to have too much of a hard time doing Ancient Cyclops. That might be one of the ones where there's somebody before me, but you know, not a super big deal. And then of course the hybrid EXP penalty is gone on blue, which is a huge benefit to me. Yeah, DM, you're not the first person to ask me to do current goals. I should do that. I'm just lazy. Sicarius, how's it going? It's you know, it's good. Life's good. So Sicarius, right now I stream about 2 hours every Monday and every Friday. Not a lot of stream time, but we are back to that Paladin grind. We're doing it on P99 blue. Yeah, when I leveled up on green, it was super camped everywhere, and I'm just like, you know, I didn't want to deal with that on this. Now, if green had still been in the period of time where they had like the pre-nerf items in, the legacy items, I would have done green. Just pretty much just for the Dark Elf mask. But since those are gone already on green, I don't really see a big reason to do it. Yeah, I thought about Monk, Dino. Monk would be really tough. Really, really tough. Ooh, that's rough, Sicarius. That is a lot of hours. Hopefully you get some overtime. You know, one of the things that I really thought about... Oh, El Jefe, what's going on, dude? So, for the people who are just... who have been watching for a while, El Jefe, who just rated us with a party of 25, thank you very much. He is the person who showed me the client on the Alcabor server. I was watching his stream one day and I was like, damn, this looks so legit. What server is this? And he said it was TechP, so I went over there and messed with it. Sure enough, it's amazing. For the guys who just came over from El Jefe's stream, welcome, welcome. I am currently doing a solo self-found hardcore Paladin run on P99 Blue, so we don't trade, we don't accept buffs, we don't get ports, any of that stuff. We are currently level 17, and yep, that's pretty much it. It's a slow, relaxing, maybe sometimes boring grind. Self-found means that every item I equip, I have acquired myself. I don't buy things. Like, I'll buy vendor items that the vendors would stock by default. And yeah, I'm going for level 50 on this. I don't think I'm man enough to shoot for 60. This is my second attempt on this. My first Paladin died at level 42 in Lower Guck. So, we're running it back. Yeah, you can watch the old Paladin death, the end of my first run with exclamation mark RIP. Hey, I'm doing good, El Jefe. Thanks for the raid. Thank you very much. I was telling chat that you are the person who showed me that awesome client that the Alcabor server uses. So by the way, if you guys haven't already checked out El Jefe's stream, he does a really awesome stream. It's very relaxing and cool. I think he usually streams with his wife or girlfriend. I don't want to assume, but they have a joint stream they do. It's very fun to watch. And lately, I think they've been doing a stream on the Alcabor server. They're doing like a duo self-found run with Beast Lords. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was really cool. I recommend you guys check it out. Thank you for all the follows, folks. We also had a few good purple clubs during that run. I think you could do like exclamation mark purple and you'll see. Yep, I can't origin. Cache override. There is the Cello server on live. It's a progression server that's pretty far in, but their whole thing was they went to a new expansion every month. So to accommodate for the really fast progression rate, they made it so that EXP was much faster as well. Bootly, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. You rock. Thank you so much. So generous of you. I guess I don't really need this anymore now that I have a shiny brass shield. You know, for some reason I always think Legionnaire's bracers are like a quest item, but they're not, apparently, unless you're a monk. Maybe that's why I always think of them as quest items, because I played a monk. Just sell this crap. Oh yeah, definitely silent. I'd be all over that. I would lead a hardcore guild. It'd be awesome. That's awesome. Straight out of Melmond. What server are you playing? Sicarius, they did. It's called the Discord server. It was a long time ago. They did that, and it was a lot of fun. It was a PvP server, and there were special titles and things granted to the folks who were the highest level at the end of it. They also didn't really have any big rules, so what they were quietly doing on the side was they were using it as a testbed for their hack detection software. And despite the fact that they did that, they now don't enforce any rules, so it didn't matter. Classic. Yeah, Jesse, I went to Crushbone. Well, you know, I went in the beginning. I was in Crushbone for a bit. But basically between the streams, I went to Crushbone. And yeah, I mean, everything just dropped so fast there. That was kind of it. I got the Shiny Brass Shield on my first kill. Then within like 2 or 3 hours of camping these brass earrings, the Taskmaster, I mean, I just sat there and got all my stuff. What am I trying to do here? I want to go to the bank and get rid of some of this crap that weighs a ton. Do not need. Do not need. Alright, now we're pretty good. Airdune's a lot of fun. So what level is your character on Vox now? Yeah, it would be cool if Pantheon had like a built-in like hardcore toggle. I think RuneScape has that, right? You can toggle like an Iron Man mode on RuneScape. Yeah, Dino's a great guy. He's Dino, you're a druid, right? Dino is a druid in EQ Baby, and he is a generous member of the community on Airdune. All right. What do we have? We have 26 platinum, and that means that we are, let's see, getting a bracer. Nice, are you using a Merc? So, for those of you guys who are playing on Airdune, what do you think is going to happen with the sleeper? You think it's going to get awoken very quickly? You think it's going to sleep for a while? Who do you think is going to wake it, etc.? Or will it be the first progression server to ever kill the sleeper? Rip. Classic. Sicarius, I know who you're thinking of. I don't want to name them on this stream. They were at launch. I don't know if they still play there. Zagorian, you're saying that you think EQ Baby is going to beat my record? You think they're going to beat the Velius record? Shame. It's a good point. It's a very good point. Velius will be the first expansion that doesn't have a leveling component. I wonder if that will have any impact. It's just the record to clear Velius content. To clear all Velius content took Faceless 22 hours on Agnar. Yeah, Kubat's very talented. Smart guy. I like him a lot. Yeah, there was three or four guilds that joined forces on Agnar. Wait, oh, on Celos. I get my servers mixed up. Yeah, I think they woke the sleeper on Celos. No one else really cared about it too much. The other guild on Celos, I forget what their name is. They were like, their plan was to kill Anha-Ra and then immediately wake the sleeper. Or so they said in their team speak prior to launch. But I think in the end, like, no one cared. Faceless is, yeah, Faceless was on Celo from launch, and they are currently the top guild on Celo. They might be the only guild left now. But Faceless has gotten, I think, every server first for like the last year, maybe over a year on Celo, after one of the other big guilds died. Yeah, it was a good time for Smack Talk, that's for sure. Yeah, we absorbed a lot of their members and officers at the end of their guild's lifespan. P99 is very chill, that's for sure. Unless you want to raid, in which case it's not chill at all. I think on P99 Blue, like, even though Velius has been out for literally years, 3 guilds are currently raid suspended. I forgot about red guides. So I guess Papa Salt's, I know Papa Salt had a guild on Celo that was still together a couple months ago. But it's kind of a crapshoot, you know what I mean? With the content moving so fast, it's easy for a guild to fall behind and then just disintegrate. 6 p.m. We're gonna have nighttime soon. Pro Mega 01, thanks for the follow. By the way, Bobby, nice to see you there in chat. When are you gonna start streaming again, dude? Yeah, I wanna, man, I really want to go back to play on Cello right now, at least through live. But it is a lot of rating, and I basically get to play EQ 2, maybe 3 nights a week. And 3 nights is like, I'm pushing it. Yeah, Cellos was every single month. New expansion drops. Cellos will hit live in like 5 months. It will be the second TLP server to hit live after Combine. It's funny because they advertise Cello as the casual server and Mangler as the hardcore server, but as soon as they said there was going to be a casual and a hardcore server, we started joking around that like their idea of a hardcore server was just going to be something super tedious, and their idea of a casual server was going to be extremely hardcore, and sure enough, Cellos is like the most hardcore server you could imagine as a raider. You've got to raid constantly to keep up, or for many expansions at least, you had to raid constantly to keep up. There's some other streams where I've talked about it. I don't remember exactly what the numbers were, but some of the people in chat have no doubt heard me talk about it. After like 1 year, the guys on Cello had done over 1,000 raids. They had like over 1,000 ticks of raiding, and they do 1 tick per hour on the DKP side. And that didn't even count like Lucklin, because they like revamped the DKP system after Lucklin. Yeah, I think everybody who ever played on Cello now agrees on that. Double drops, normal lockouts. Half lockouts is just like, do you want to raid on a server that will destroy your family? Do you want to quit your job? Play on Cello. Another big problem with EQ is like, when you take a little bit of a break, suddenly you're like 10,000% disinterested in playing. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a hardcore guild and you're going really hard every day doing progression, and you're like, you know, I'm all cut up, I've got all my best in slot gear this expansion, I'm gonna take a week off. You're not coming back. K-Sims, I am on blue. Oh man, that falling damage. How close are we to unrest? Don't tell me I ran past it. No, not yet. K-Sims, I chose green I chose blue over green because I wanted a server that was going to be like lower pop, especially in the zones that I'm going to be in, so that I won't have to deal with competition for my camps. That's my biggest reason. Green had already lost its legacy items, which would have been a reason that I would have gone green instead. Like if I could have gone for like a Dark Elf Mask or a Thex Dagger or something, I would have done green. But since those are gone, I didn't really see a good reason to play green over blue. I do have a level 50 on green, and I think it's a great server, and I love the community there. But since I have very limited playtime, it just seems to make more sense for me to go to a server where I know I won't have to like wait in line for camps and stuff. Sicarius. I don't know. I don't know if you're joking or if I really don't like confrontation. Yeah, those Kunark Legacy items. You know, I'm really tempted to play green when Kunark launches. There's just so many... Look, EQ is so awesome and I enjoy it so much. There are so many things I want to do in EQ right now. It's hard to like, you know, it's hard to focus on one. I want to get this SSF run done. I want to do green Kunark launch. I want to play on the Alcabor server because that shit's dope. I want to go on Cello and hit live. Like, there's just too much, man. There's too much yet to do in EQ. I feel like the sleeper when you get woken up. He's just like, out of my way, insect. I have much slaying yet to do. Yeah, it would be hardcore like EXP wise, but it would be a lot easier than this Dwarf Paladin, content wise. So DM, there's an Alcabor project server, and they use a client that's like much closer to Classic than this client. And you know, I don't want to take anything away from P99 because the devs have done an incredible job of making a very classic experience here. But if you play on the Alcabor server, it takes you about 3 seconds to realize how awesome it feels and how it's exactly like what you remembered in 1999. I pulled it up on chat on this stream a little bit earlier, and the people who were in chat can like corroborate what I'm saying. You're just like, when you see the login screen, you're like, oh shit, I'm 10 years old. I don't know if the devs are toxic. You know, every server you go to, people talk about how the devs are toxic and corrupt. Like everyone will tell you like, oh, P99 devs are RMTing on the side. Daybreak GMs are corrupt. They join raid guilds. By the way, they do. Whatever you do, you know, they talk about how the devs are corrupt, and maybe they are. But luckily, I have retired myself to casual player for 11 months out of the year, so I can safely not care. Are they considered a toxic guild? They're led by a friend, a sort of a friend, an associate of mine, I would say. Megalixir. Well, Nils, the launch month of any TLP server is my one hardcore month. I reserve the right to relive the old days, that 1 month per year. Come solo, come solo, come solo. Beautiful. For some reason, I can't remember their name. K-Sims. But yeah, the leader of that guild is Dalnoth. Yeah, people will pay a ton of money. In fact, P99 characters in particular sell for a ton because the EXP rates are so slow. People just want to cheese their way to the top. But P99 actually appears to police that, so you'll get banned eventually if you buy or sell. Von Mega, there we go. Yeah. The Dalnoth is the leader of Von Mega. Oh yeah, Air-Dune Guild. I think they're kind of casual. Have I thought about, yep, exactly, Dalnoth from Triality. Indeed, it is him. That's why Rogin is in the same guild as him. And I think... I don't know if Porkin plays there, but he's usually with those guys. Somewhy, thank you for the follow. Have I thought about running my own P99 server? I would love to run my own server, because I think I have a lot of good ideas, but I think everyone thinks their ideas are good. The problem is I lack any kind of skill or talent that would be necessary to run a server. And so I won't. Promega, I may have overstated the quality of my ideas now that I'm forced to espouse them. No, but really, give me a second to make sure I'm not going to die to this jack-o'-lantern, and I'll talk about what I think would be an ideal EQ server. Well, they played on P99 Green when it came out. They had a cool guild over there. They just kind of like did their own thing. There was like 10 of them or less, maybe. I don't know, dude. I don't know that Secret likes me anymore. I don't know if me and Secrets are homies like that these days. Okay, so my ideal Everquest server. You ready for this, Promega? My ideal Everquest server is, you go back to Everquest, we start with Classic, right? I would never launch a server that didn't like start with Classic, probably. Maybe Kunar could be open. But anyway, you take the actual vision of Everquest Classic, not what it is, but what it was intended to be from a design perspective, what they would have done if they had infinite money, right? All the zones that got cut, all the encounters that got cut, and you add it back. Call it EverQuest Complete. And so you have the Megalodon in Lake Wrath. You've got Mayong Mistmore in-game permanently. In Classic, you have Meldrath's Dungeon and some of the other zones that we know got cut. And then you do that for every expansion as it comes out until finally... maybe ending in Classic, maybe ending in Luckland, maybe ending in Pop, but definitely never going beyond Pop at the maximum. You have the true vision of what EverQuest was supposed to be. Because all of those expansions had a bunch of cut content that was just cut for design reasons or time or money reasons that you could go back and, you know, do now. And somebody who shall not be named happens to have Bill Trost's original EverQuest design notebook. The real document with all the intended zones that didn't make the cut. So there is a person out there who could make it happen. Complete with all the maps and all the mobs on paper where they ought to have been. Yeah, you are 100% right. Planes of Power is a really bad lock state because Plane of Time is just too good. You end up with an expansion where the only zone worth raiding is Plane of Time, and everything else you could do like if you really want to, but why? I think Luckland is honestly a perfect lock state. People don't like it, but think about Luck. Well, you know what? Never mind. Vexthal crushes everything. Fuck it. I don't know. I don't think there is a perfect place to stop EQ. That's the problem. There's merit for every expansion. Luca. Yes, it is fun. It's a lot of fun. You should get back into it. There are a lot of wonderful ways to play EverQuest now, especially the nostalgic EverQuest that you see here. You can play on Project 1999, which is a lot like what you thought, what you might have experienced back in the day. It's just designed to emulate classic EQ as closely as possible. And it's totally free. Kind of a hassle to set up for your first time, but after that, boom, you get what we have here. There's also the EverQuest live servers where you can play all, 20 million EverQuest expansions that still exist. They're coming out with a new one next year. So yes, every year they do come out with new expansions still. Or you could play on the officially licensed EverQuest progression servers. They tend to release 1 to 2 per year, And they start in Classic, and then every X number of months, they go through the next expansion, all the way up to Live. So usually between March and May, they'll launch one. And you could start in Classic, roughly what it was like in 1999, though with a lot of quality of life features that weren't there. And you could play that, and then 3 months later, Kunark, and then 3 months later, Velius, and then 3 months later, Lucklin. And whenever you think it's not fun anymore, you can stop yourself and get off that ride. Cash, some of them were, I wouldn't say added in later expansions, but they were reimagined and inserted in later expansions. Like, we do have a Meldrath dungeon at like the level 75 range, I want to say. But I mean, it is truly, other than as a pure concept, it is truly nothing like what was intended for Classic EQ. There was supposed to be a Classic Meldrath dungeon in Steamfont Mountains that would have been kind of like a Black Burrow-ish zone for the gnomes. Why didn't I loot this? Alright, we need to get somewhere safe so we could heal up and rest. Velius is cool. Velius, I think, is maybe the pinnacle for EverQuest for me visually and like thematically. It always feels like you're doing something legendary in Velius, you know what I mean? Like, you are killing dragons and giants. It's like everything that you imagine an ultra high-end fantasy setting to deliver. But at the same time in Velius, every raid is technically the same raid with a different pixel configuration on your screen. Like, it's just a different model, but you just, you know, you're putting a dragon in a corner, or you're putting a giant in a corner, and maybe there's an AE that you have to count down and dodge. Yeah, it's a little bit boring after I've done it for a while. Yeah, not the perma-rooted ones. And I think a big problem is that we, as players, tend to take the fun out of it from, like, we rob ourselves of some of the fun of EverQuest. An example, right? EXP potions. We're in such a rush to get to that rating content EQ that on TLP servers, they have EXP potions you can buy, right? And you buy them and you play and boom, you know, you get to level 50 faster or level 60 faster or whatever. And trust me, I use EXP potions all the time. If I'm leveling up, I've got an EXP potion running. But you're kind of paying money to play the game that you bought for less time, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And EverQuest, I think, is really at its peak. The strongest elements of EverQuest are the group content. Like, when you're in a group and you're in Lower Guk, or you're in Sebelis, or you're in Unrest, that is when EverQuest is at its best. I think that EverQuest in Temple of Vishan is not the pinnacle of EverQuest, you know, of the EverQuest playing gameplay experience. And so when you rush to that piece, and that's where most of your focus is, I think it's understandable to want to do that, but I think you cheat yourself out of some of the experience, some of that enjoyment. And some of you guys who are doing TLP servers and P99, that might have been what you did in the old days. You know, you might have been like a legit pro hardcore raider. I wasn't one of those guys. My memories of EQ, my nostalgia is like doing the dungeons and stuff 1 through 45-ish mostly. And I just think that's the best thing that EQ has to offer. Yeah, Dino, how did bat phoning come to be? I could talk about that a little bit. Thank you for the follow, Luca. So bat phoning was originally, what would we call it? Phone treeing? It was called phone treeing. So what you did was, your guild, in order to fight those damn Euros, you typically would have like let's say I'm just like random veteran member of the guild number 5, right? I would get a phone call from one of the officers and they'd be like, hey dude, let's pick an expansion deeper in. they would be like, hey dude, King Tormax just spawned. Be like, okay. And then I would hang up and I would pick up my phone and I would call 5 or 10 people, you know, depending on how big your guild is. And then they would call 5 or 10 people, maybe 3 people. Each guild might have a different number. You did like a phone tree like that, and that's how you would alert your whole guild. In classic, raid mobs did not have a variance, so you didn't need a bat phone. As to when each particular guild started doing that, it's hard to say. But what you know about EQ is that competing for raid mobs in the open world is a big arms race. So no doubt what happened is like some galaxy brain thought of this idea and implemented it in their guild. And then one of their members, you know, their guild had a spy in it, or one of their members left and joined the enemy guild, and then the enemy guild found out. And then once that information flow begins outside of the original organization, you just can't stop it. Then the whole guild finds out, or someone quits. They say, hey, I'm not playing any EQ anymore. Who plays EQ in 2001, right? So I'm going to tell you all the secrets that my guild had. This is how we monopolized raid content. And then suddenly everybody in the world knows, and here we are 21 years later, still doing it. I could tell you that when, even 10 years ago, like there's been a big evolution in how bat phones work over the last 10 years too. 10 years ago, we started out texting everybody, right? Just texting everybody, boom, boom, boom. You'd have big text groups. And then we went to like Google Voice and some other software, I can't even remember the names of it all, that would automate that. So I would press one button, everyone would get the same text. And then, ever since bat phones had existed, there was always a big problem. You guys who have rated hardcore know EQ competition can get pretty, people can get very passionate, shall we say, about, oh God, okay, we got solo. People can get really passionate about it. So you scumbag beetle, you have all these people, right? You're running a bat phone. You hate the other guild. You really hate them with all your heart. And then eventually, for whatever reason, you leave your guild. You used to be an officer, but you didn't get the White Dragon Scale Cloak. So screw your guild. You're going to join the competition, and you're going to take your guild down. And you go over there and you say, hey guys, I want to apply, I want to join. They're like, okay, sure. And you want the new guild to like you, right? Because you want them to give you the White Dragon Scale Cloak. So you say, hey guys, I used to run the bat phone for the other guild. They're like, oh. You're like, yeah, I still have everybody's phone numbers. They're like, oh, I could push out fake bat phones. Okay. So then people start doing that kind of stuff. Or people will sign up all your emails or your phone numbers to spam. You know what I mean? People will like grief like that. And for that reason, a lot of people became really hesitant to use bat phones. Then we got ways to do it anonymously, right? The number one way to do bat phones anonymously when I was still hardcore bat phoning was Twitter. People could set up, we would set up a Twitter account, and everyone would make their own Twitter accounts, and they would follow my Twitter account, and they would make it do mobile alerts so that whenever I tweeted, they would get a push notification on their cell phone. And it was simple as that. Then that would alert them. I never needed any of their personally identifiable information, and no one was ever griefed or compromised that way. And then people would like go steps further, like with cheating software and stuff. So basically what you do is you have a program like ShowEQ, right? And you'll use ShowEQ to automate your tracking, because you don't want to track that dragon for 70. God, I gotta run. You don't want to track that dragon for 72 hours of its window, right? Who wants to do that? So you set up ShowEQ bots in each raid mob zone, and they do the tracking for you. But you can't just have your ShowEQ bot bat phone out to your whole guild when a mob spawns, right? Because what if ShowEQ breaks, right? What if someone tricks it out? What if someone names their pet Trachanon, and then you bat phone your guild for a mage pet? There has to be a bottleneck somewhere to stop it from being wrong. You have to have like the human brain involved somewhere to make that decision. So what you do is you have a bat phone within a bat phone. I have a Twitter account that I control. All my officers, and only my officers, follow this and know about it. This is the ShowEQ bat phone. It's automated. Anytime it detects raid mob, it bat phones. The only people who receive it are the officers. The officers wake up, they check the bat phone, they verify that it's accurate, and then they manually push out the tweet to alert the guild. The whole thing takes, 30 seconds, but it prevents you from getting griefed on your bat phone. And that, Dino, is, to my knowledge, the history of the bat phone. Charlize, thank you for the follow. Earth Spasm, thank you for the follow. Hey, I'm glad you're digging it, Luca. And if any of you guys are interested in P99, you want to get set up with it, I think we have a Discord link somewhere in my section here on Twitch that you can click. You can jump in my Discord, and we'll get you all set up. It's kind of a lot to run through. I'm not going to do it on stream. I followed P99 in the TMO days very closely. Promega. Hey, this is blue. Charlize. Yeah, Nils. I wish we could get the answer to that, but we'll never know. I gotta take off for a sec. I will be right back, guys. I'm back. Yeah, Promega, it definitely seems like the P99 drama was like greatest back in like the TMO, IB, Transatlantic Rampage days. I think there's like a player psyche element that goes into that. And we saw that on TLP servers back in the day. Like the first couple months of any TLP server would be like that, with like peak drama. That was before I think everyone had totally figured out what rating was going to be like permanently on P99. And you had people who like had an expectation that they would be able to raid effectively once they reached high level. And people were getting to max level eventually and finding out that that was not the case. And then people were still really hungry to fight, you know what I mean? Maybe the barrier for entry to contest some of these mobs was not quite so high. Guilds hadn't perhaps built up millions and millions of platinum for clickies that they could leverage against other guilds. But as the arms race, gets crazier and crazier and people build up more and more, the barrier for entry becomes higher and higher for new guilds. Zaide, thank you so much for those gifted subs. How are you doing, Zaide? You just missed the history of the bat phone moments ago. Whew, that sounds like a long day. Congrats, Gelid. Yeah, I remember following the forum drama a lot on Forceful Entry when they came out. It was always fun. It was cool to see that. There was drama before the time that I started like tracking P99 drama too. Like I wasn't really hip to P99 back in like the Dark Ascension days. Oh no, guys. Wait, no, I killed this. I killed this before we ran. Okay. I was like, we have to delete the character. We looted 1 gold, 2 silver, and 6 copper that we didn't earn. I am level 17. We have our Deepwater Harpoon. Boom. We have the Bloodforged Helm. I have purchased with my ample platinum supply small iron arms, legs, and bracer. We got our 2 brass earrings for the bonus of total of 4 AC, and we got our 2 silver amber rings. We're all decked out. Oh, and of course, the shiny brass shield. Promega, I am attempting to take it to level 50, or until we die. I have an idea of which one's going to come first. Still rocking that Bull Smasher for now. Once we hit 20, we'll switch over to Deepwater Harpoon, probably like full time. Trying to get away from that Death Beetle so he doesn't add. Yeah, the next TLP probably will happen. Promega, I did play on Agnar. I was the first player to level 50 on Agnar, and I founded a guild called Faceless Empire there. Dude, I know, right? Being a dwarf, I'm just taking those kicks to the teeth. Oh, nice. So you knew the leader before Bosch. I forget what that guy's name was. I like Zerdula, they were good people. Need to get some mana. Yeah, Bosch is a good guy. He's in Faceless now on solo. Yeah, I agree. Zerdula was always friendly. We tried to be friendly back, within the bounds of, you know, the kind of guild we were. Hang out near this giant twinked out ogre. Seems like a safe space. Whoa, whoa, Zyathan. With another gifted sub. 3 gifted subs today, Zyathan. Thank you so much, dude. Zyathan, I wish you could have seen when I got the Deepwater Harpoon. So the skeletons are aggro on P99, and I was doing the hail lock thing, and a greater skeleton aggroed me, and I was just trying to like jog it around and not get killed and not miss my hail timers for that whole 7-minute period. It was pretty sweet. Whoa, whoa. Well, voting is important, you know. Ooh, sorry about that, Papa Blood. That route is my route for the server first 50 on Aerodune. Not really relevant to this. Though if you plan to play on TLP, it's not a bad route to level up with. Right. Well, you know, I'm not really a talented pooler, but I'll take the compliment. Tower of Frozen Shadow for Pally leveling mid-40s is probably pretty dope. I don't know if I would solo there. Honestly, I really don't have a lot of... God, stupid Death Beetle. I really don't have a lot of TOFS experience. I would not go there on a hardcore run. I'll tell you that much. My ideal TLP, blah, 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 is announced for May. Put out another one is 2-month duration per expansion and double loot. Would that be my ideal TLP? I don't know. I guess so. Because I don't really plan to raid, like I'm not doing like big things anymore on TLP servers. I'm hoping for a standard EXP rate. I'll say that because I want to do like SSF runs and I want to do the race to max level on the new TLPs that come out. And it just won't be as exciting if I'm doing that and it's like a much easier rush. So for that reason, I hope for like a relatively standard run for me to do on stream. But if I was gonna raid and like be part of a guild that did things again, I would want one month or 6 weeks, I think, per expansion. And I would like double loot normal lockouts, yeah. I think that would be pretty perfect. Oh yeah, that's gotta be terrible, Papa. So then you gotta pay some necromancer to come out and save you, right? Summon your corpse. If we do get that standard TLP launch, I have some ideas to shave a couple hours off of our runtime. Be a little bit faster than we used to be. Yeah, right? Now that I'm using my undead nuke, I'm like always out of mana. Dang, that's crazy, Papa. What guild are you in? I basically am like, I'm just like a Gimp cleric. I'm a cleric with 1 charge of instant cast, complete heal. I'm not familiar with the TSS acronym in the case of guilds here, Papa. Would you mind spelling it out? The Second Sons. Okay, I'm like, the Serpent's Spine. I'm telling you, Promega, that's my life right now. It's like every time I'm almost done with something, I think of some other cool thing that I need to do. I wish I could get a Wormslayer. I think Wormslayer might be like my favorite weapon in EQ. It looks so cool. Yeah, there is. It drops off Silverwing, Promega. The Executioner's Blade. What is going on, Skylar? Long time no see, dude. How have you been? Are you glad you did the quest, Nils? I'm not in Japan anymore, Skylar. I came home, so to speak. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm in the East Coast of the United States, I'll say that much. You could PM me on Discord, I'll tell you where I'm at. I wish I could convince the devs for TLP to like make EXP quests worth doing. I understand the need to nerf them, but they're like really too nerfed. They should just add like a hard cap where it doesn't give you any more EXP, you know, at a certain level, rather than where they're useless at all levels. Ooh, Pride of the Legion is so good. Did you do any of the Kun Archaeologist quest, Nils? Yeah, I'm on P99 Blue right now, Skylar. We're doing a really dumb run. So I'm Paladin. I am solo self-found, which means I do not group. I do not get ports. I do not get buffs. I do not trade with players. All my items have to be like things that I got from mobs I killed, items I created through trade skills myself, or from the default stock of a vendor. And if we die, we delete the character. It's the Harrison Bergeron of EQ runs. Well, you know, we're only level 17 right now, Skylar, so we haven't done too much. This is my second attempt. My last attempt, we made it to 42. Promega, technically no. If you mean attempted, I attempted a Beast Lord. I got him into the 30s, I want to say. Yeah, EXP. Well, you know, the EXP is not terrible. It's just that Unrest is not great for me right now, actually. And I don't play a lot. That's awesome, Skylar. You got to hit me up more about it. So, yeah, Promega, I did a Pally, then I did a Beast Lord, and we did some other stuff in between there, too. Beast Lord got to like 30-ish something, and then I was kiting Misty Thicket guards maybe, and a level like 65 quest mob from some out of era thing, like ran up and killed me in one round. So that's how the Beast Lord died. I have never successfully made it to level 50 in this run. My first Paladin was my best attempt. It was also my first attempt. I made it to level 42. Yeah, I was in Japan. I lived in Japan for 3.5 years. I actually chose Paladin over Shadow Knight because it's harder. I wanted to get the hardest class that still had some nuance. Like you could do Rogue, but I think Rogue would be pretty close to impossible, and you could do Warrior. Those two classes I think would be more challenging than Paladin, but they're like very static, you know, like with the Warrior, you walk up to a mob. If you kill it with auto attack, you win, and if you don't, that's it. But as a Paladin, I've got Pacify, I've got the ability to root, back up heal, joust, do all kinds of crazy stuff like that that lets me do things that you would think I should not be able to do. And so for that reason, I chose the Paladin, because it just gives me that little bit of extra ability to surprise viewers, surprise myself. Hey, thanks Melmon, appreciate you stopping by, dude. All right, guys, it has been 2 hours. I wish I could go longer, but I do have some real duties to attend to. Thank you so much for coming out. If you enjoyed this, please hit me with the follow and come back. I will be back on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And, you know, the plan is every Monday and Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern from there forward. So please come check it out. If you enjoyed this, you can check out all the previous episodes. This is episode 8. They are on my YouTube channel. There is a link somewhere down there below the screen. Enjoy it. Have a good one, folks.